Hi there, welcome to That Board Game Show. My name is James Wood, and today I'm going to show you Tiny Epic Defenders, The Dark War, an expansion to Tiny Epic Defenders designed by Scott Almes and published by Gamelyn Games. In Tiny Epic Defenders, The Dark War, the land of Aughmoore is once again at war and has been invaded by merciless hordes of evil minions and monsters. And now they are destroying villages and driving people from their homes. And those people are escaping into little caravans, which they are then needing to be guided back to the capital city, where the last final refuge is. Our job is to take on the role of heroic defenders who are sent out into the land to escort these caravans home and keep at bay the hordes of monsters while defeating the generals and the epic foe at the end. Now, I'm not going to explain all the basics of how Tiny Epic Defenders plays. I've already done a video for that, which I'll leave linked down below. Today, I'm just going to focus on what's new in the Dark War expansion and show you a few turns and how the gameplay differs from the base game. The main difference that you'll immediately notice if you are familiar with the base game is that we have these little caravans. Now, these little caravans are going to be popping up around the board in the different locations, and we are going to have to send out our defenders to escort those caravans back to the capital city. That is one of the objectives of the game, so in order to win the Dark War expansion, we have to escort all 6 caravans, back to the capital city before we can defeat the epic foe. Now, you'll also notice something new. We have these 2 general cards. Prepare yourselves for the general, dun da da! And there's a whole deck of these general cards, as well as some additional enemy cards that may or may not get shuffled into the deck, depending on what regions we encounter. Because we also have a whole bunch of new regions that we can explore, which you'll see replace the existing regions. So during setup, you will swap out one of the regions on the board with one of the new ones. And all the cards and items in the Dark War expansion have this little DW shield logo in the corner. So if ever you want to pull out the expansion content and just play the base game for a quicker, simpler game, you can very easily weed out the expansion content. We are given a whole pile new epic foes. These are all from the expansion. We also have a bunch of new heroes that we can play, new defenders that are out defending the land. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 new defenders that you can play. I am playing with the deluxe edition of the Dark War expansion, so there may be a couple little extras in here that aren't available in the standard game. I don't think it's anything major, it's just like a few extra heroes and a couple additional artifact cards and things. Speaking of which, we have this artifact deck over here, which has basically been doubled in size by all of the new artifacts added. So when you set up for the Dark War expansion, you can just take all the artifacts and shuffle them together. What I have done for today's video is I have put them all in one stack, but I've put all the Dark War artifacts on the top of the deck, just so that as I encounter them, we'll be seeing all the new stuff. Then we also have new minion cards. Where are they? New dire enemies that we will be facing off against. And the way you set up varies a little bit depending on what mode of the Dark War expansion you want to play. So let's get all of these extra bits off to the side, because I won't be using those yet. And allow me to explain the 2 distinct modes of play that you can use when playing with this expansion. You can either play a single one-shot game, which is referred to as the Great Battle. So you flip this card over to the Great Battle side, single game mode. So battle victory objectives is escort all 6 caravans to the capital city and then defeat the epic foe. Or you can play a little micro campaign mode, which is called the Dark War, appropriately. And how that works is instead of just facing off against an epic foe, we have to face off against 2 of the epic foe's generals. So we essentially play 3 normal games of Tiny Epic Defenders in a row. The first battle is played against the first general, and the generals pop up in a specific location, just like the epic foe would. And they have a health track, and we have to defeat them before we can move on to the second battle. Once we defeat the second general, we then reveal the epic foe, and then, and only then, can we actually win the game. And we are reminded of all the basic little rules on this campaign mat over here. And finally, there are 2 more things that you need to know that come in this expansion. We have got XP now. We can level up our heroes with experience points. Each hero is given one of these XP cards. And as you play the game, you will gain XP by defending. Each time you defend, you'll gain 1 XP. Escorting a caravan into the capital city gains you 2 XP. And then defeating a general, all defenders gain 3 XP. And you can spend your XP on escorting caravans. So to escort a caravan, if you are in the same location as one of these caravans, you have to spend 1 XP and 1 action point in order to move it with you. Otherwise, if you just do a normal move action, you leave the caravan behind. You can also spend 1 action point to prepare for action and gain 1 XP. For instance, there'll sometimes be times when, say, I'm in this region and I know that there's a dire enemy coming, and more on that later. So I know that there's a dire enemy, for instance, in the forest. So I want to hang out there so that I can defend against that dire enemy. But maybe I've got 3 action points and this has only taken 1 hit. So I could spend 1 action point to pull that down, but now I've got 2 action points that in the standard base game of Tiny Epic Defenders would just be wasted. Unless I went somewhere, did something, came back, but that's not always very optimal. So what you can do now is you can spend those excess action points to gain XP, which you can then use later in the game to help you with escorting caravans. And if you can get your XP tracker all the way up to 8, you can level up. You spend all 8 XP, gain 1 new skill card, and heal back to full health. So that leads into skill cards. We have a deck of skill cards here. These are all brand new in the expansion. And you'll also notice a couple other things here. We've got these tokens and dice and this tree over here. Those will come into play depending on the different locations that are presented in the game. At the start of the game, each player is dealt 2 of these skill cards, and then they pick 1 to keep. And one of the new heroes over here is Dink, the Gnome Tinkerer. Her special ability is to draw 3 skill cards and keep 2 at the start of the game. And then during the game, she can research to gain 1 XP each time she enters the capital city. And Dink is represented by our little green item meeple. And I also have Grendel, the Polarkin Armorer, a giant polar bear smithy. So he has Forge. When you gain an artifact, draw 2 artifacts and keep 1. Very handy. Shuffle the remaining 1 back into the artifact deck so he can fish out the correct artifacts at the correct time a bit more easily. And he can also rebuild. When your defender's card is drawn, if you are in a destroyed region, you may remove the card covering the region and add it to the discard pile. Then set the threat of that region to the level directly under the destruction space. So, if you're not familiar with Tiny Epic Defenders, that's probably a whole bunch of gibberish to you. But if you are familiar, that is a very useful ability to be able to protect the capital. So let's see what skills we have. Grendel, the Polarkin Armorer, has got Strength appropriately. And this was drawn randomly, just so happened that he got this one. He can spend 3 XP, there's another way to spend your XP, to fight without spending 1 action. So he might be able to take down these generals and the epic foe a little bit quicker. And then Dink over here, these are the 2 skill cards she kept. She has Ancient Wisdom. Whenever you gain any amount of XP, other defenders in the same region as you also gain 1. Very nice, and that plays beautifully with her innate ability of gaining an XP each time she enters the capital. So if Grendel is camping out in the capital here and Dink comes into the capital, she will gain 1 XP, and so will he because of her ancient wisdom. She shares a bit of her ancient knowledge that she has garnered over the decades. She may look young, but gnomes can be deceptive, so you're never quite sure how old they are. And she is also a dual wielder. She can spend 1 XP on her turn to reduce 1 threat in your current outer region once per turn. Very handy. So there's another fantastic way to spend XP. And one final note on setup. I mentioned earlier these new locations. So how you set up for a standard single battle is you take one of the new locations and you place it on its hostile side. All the new locations have a hostile side and a friendly side. So if you're playing a single battle, you set up one location with the hostile side. And if you're playing the campaign, you set up exactly the same. But then, once you defeat the first general, you'll reset the board a little bit. You'll flip this hostile location to its friendly side, and we'll replace another one of the locations with a hostile side, thereby simulating the world shifting and changing as the war progresses. So it's a longer, more strategic way to play. So this new location that we have here is the mountains, the hostile mountains for now, and it has a savage manticore lurking in it. When the region with the manticore is attacked, move the manticore clockwise 1 region. If a defender is in the region the manticore moves to, they must choose to either move to the clockwise adjacent region without spending action points, or stay in the region and lose 1 health. A region with the manticore cannot be defended. So basically this giant, scary lion, bat, dragon creature is going to fly around the board. So each time the region where it is located, so at the start of the game, it starts out in the mountains. So when the mountains are attacked, the manticore will flap, 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 flap over to the plains. If one of us are in the plains, we have to immediately run away because we see a big, scary, fire-breathing tiger, dragon, lion, bat thing. And we run away to the clockwise adjacent region. Or if we really need to stay here for some reason, maybe the threat is way up and we need to pull it down or something, we can take 1 hit to stand our ground and defend in that region. However, we cannot defend against any future attacks in that region. Okie dokie, and I'll explain the other regions as they pop up. And I think I'm just going to play out a few turns and show you how the game plays and see how it goes. And what we have done is when creating the Horde deck, we have 3 regular enemies and one of these, I've already shuffled it in, 1 dire enemy. When playing the campaign mode, you have 1 fewer dire enemy than normal. So in a 2-player game, or in a solo game, playing with 2 heroes, you would usually shuffle in 2 dire enemies, making this a deck of 5 cards. But because we're playing out the campaign, it's only got 4 cards in it, and we place those on top of the first general over there. And now we're ready to play. Okay, so we both start with 0 XP, and as long as you're in the capital, the rest action is the same as the original capital city to replenish all the defenders' health if they start their turn in the capital city. And we also have this additional thing of spend 1 XP to train, draw 1 skill card. You may choose to replace your current skill card with this one, otherwise shuffle the skill card back into the deck once per turn. So basically until you level up, you can only have the 1, or in Dink's case, 2 skill cards at a time. You can't hold more skill cards than that. When you level up, you get a new skill card and that gets added to the skills you already have. As in normal Tiny Epic Defenders, we have our turn deck over here seeded with enemy cards and our turn cards. So we will flip these over. And the first enemies show up in the ruins and shall attack them. And we have some big flappy bird things show up in the coast and attack the coastline. We have dire wolves attacking the plains. And we have some cantankerous looking spiders attacking the forest. Oh my. And oh dear, more skeletal doings in the ruins and some more wolfy wolves in the plains. So that is the initial onslaught. Now it's our turn to start doing stuff. And it shall be Red's turn first. That will be Grendel. Grendel, what you gonna do? Okay, so we don't know where any dire enemies are, so we don't know what to defend against just yet. So I'm just gonna play fairly fast and loose because, as I said at the beginning, I've already explained the basics of how Tiny Epic Defenders works in that previous video. If you haven't watched that already, I would highly recommend pausing this, watching that one, and then coming back. Because I am now just going to play out until we can encounter the first general, and I'll show you how that works. Grendel is going to go secure some regions, I think. Yes, he's going to go 1. He's going to go 2, and he's going to go 3, I think, because then he can use the Ruins special ability to entomb and maybe pull one of those cards out for the next turn. And remember, we only have 3 actions until a region is destroyed. Now, all defenders get to go, so let's bring out Dink. Dink is going to scurry out here, 1. She is going to reduce this by 1. Actually, no, she's going to leave that there. We're going to have him pull down 1 and use an action to entomb. Let's entomb... I think let's entomb this one that's got the ruins and the plains, because the plains are right next to the Manticore, and that could be a little bit scary. We're actually quite fortunate that the mountains were not attacked in that initial onslaught. That's something to remember for the rest of the game. We don't have any mountainous enemies yet. There may be more coming out from there. Okay, all heroes get a turn. Okay, so now I know that this last one is Dink's action card. So I think we'll let Grendel reduce that by 1 and move over here for 2 and pull this down for 3. That seems like a reasonable plan. And then Dink's turn, she's got 3 actions. So their special abilities are not super helpful at the beginning of the game, but they will become more helpful as the game progresses. Okay, now Dink is going to tinker around in the plains and reduce the threat over there. It's always quite a good idea to keep these things under control. And she can spend 2 action points while in the plains to pray, draw the top card from the turn deck and immediately discard it. Okay, so there is no cards in the turn deck, so that wouldn't be a very good thing to do right now. So now's a perfect time to use one of the new actions we can from this expansion, and that is to prepare. She's going to spend 2 action points to gain 2 XP. And I just forgot something. Rewind back to the start of the round. I was supposed to seed the board with one of these caravans during setup. So we pick up one of the caravans and we look on the bottom and we can see there that that is in the forest. Boom, over there. So that might have changed my plans a little bit. So basically that would have started there, and then each time we cycle through the turn deck, we add another caravan to a new location. And each, as you can see, we have 6 locations and we have 6 caravans. So as it goes, you become more familiar with where they've come from, so you can start planning for where they're likely to pop up next. So should I get some experience points, or should I head towards the forest? I think Dink is going to head towards the forest rather. Boop, boop, put those back down. And in fact, she's not even going to secure that. She's going to come 1, 2, and 3. She's going to gain 1 experience point because we need experience points to move with the caravans. That is the end of round 1. We will shuffle the deck and we will add a card from the Horde deck. And remember, there's only 1 dire enemy in there. So now we will continue playing. And now things are going to be a bit more chaotic. All right, the ruins get hit. Oh, and I'll tend to forget this, but with the ruins, you meant to, after entombing, at the start of the next round, you meant to put that card straight in the discard pile. So, the ruins get hit, Kaplow and the coast would get hit, but Grendel is there, so he will swat away the pesky birds that are trying to attack the coast, and lose 1 health in the process. Then we have Green Defender's turn. Oh, jolly good. Yay, yay, yay. That is very good news, because now she can... Oops. So I explained how caravans work, and then I immediately forgot to do it again. So, start of the round, we're supposed to take a caravan, look on the bottom of it. That is sunshine, so that is in the desert. Boom. Right. Now we can continue playing. Dink is going to spend 1 XP, boop, to move with this caravan over to here. She's going to say, come with me, people, come along. Speed up, chivvy along the oxens, keep them going. We can't afford them to dawdle around because, there's enemies prowling around these woods. Then, that was 1 of her 3 actions. She's going to spend another action to gain an XP. Then she's going to spend her 3rd action to take this caravan into the capital. Yay! There you go, people. You're all safe and healthy. And as soon as she enters the capital, she gains 1 XP. Ba-ding! And when you safely escort a caravan to the capital, you gain 2 XP. Because the people of Aughmoore praise you and love you and heap blessings upon you. And you get 1, 2 experience points to go out and do more stuff and defend them more effectively. Cool. That was fairly effective. Okay, we have an All Defenders card. You can't use that ability to prepare to gain XP when there's an All Defenders card visible. You can only use it when a specific player's Defenders card is face up. Similar to how in the base game you have the sacrifice action where you can lose a health to gain an action point, but only when your Defender's card is face up. So now we have all Defenders. We should probably get Dink out into the world to start doing stuff. That's what we're going to do. So Dink is going to head out 1, and then she might as well just keep on leveling up. Or let's be clever. I am going to send Grendel in... Yes, I'm going to send Grendel into the capital. 1, 2, then for the 3rd action, because it's an All Defenders card, Dink is going to move into the capital with the people. Come along, people, come along. And she is going to gain... She's going to spend 1 XP to move with the caravan. She is then going to gain 1 XP for entering the capital. And whenever you gain any amount, other defenders in the region gain 1. So he will gain 1. Then she's going to gain 2 more, 1, 2, because of safely escorting a caravan to the capital, and he will gain another 1. At least I hope I'm playing that right. I might be breaking the game slightly, but oh well. Let's see, whenever you gain any amount of XP. Other defenders in the same region as you also gain 1. Okay, I'm actually just going to play it that she gains all of the XP at the same time, so we'll just give him 1. That seems more likely to be how the rule is actually supposed to be played. Because gain 1 each time you enter the capital. Yeah, so she would enter the capital and get 3, and then he would get 1. That seems more reasonable. And then we will flip over this card, and we have more wolves. And some in the forest. That forest is getting to be a problem. Then Red Defender's turn. Okay, Grendel, you fill up to full health. Bing! Because he is resting in the capital. And now we don't know where another caravan is. He could stock up on some XP. Probably not a bad idea. So he's going to go 1. And we know that a caravan has shown up in the forest and in the desert. So the other ones are going to show up somewhere on this side of the map. So it's better being over here. He's going to spend 1 to gain an XP, and he's going to spend 1 to pull that down. Yes, that seems reasonable. We will then flip over a new one, and the mountains are attacked. Right. So now that goes up 1, and the manticore goes flappity, flappity, flap, flap, flap. Now, is Grendel, our big scary bear, scared of a manticore or not? I would like to say not, so that he can stay here and defend against the wolves, but you can't defend in a region with the manticore. So I think he is going to strategically retreat. He's not running away. He is just going to strategically retreat into the ruins. Yes, there we go. He's not scared, not at all. And then the plains are attacked, which means he's going to get chased again. Oh my. So they get attacked, and Manticore comes flappity, flappity, flappy, saying, "Oh, hey, I'm not done with you yet. What are you doing running away from me?" I should have thought about that. So I'll let him get chased away again. Why not? Boom, he's going to go hide in the coast. And this time he is scared, because when a Manticore chases you twice in the same turn, that's a bit terrifying. Okay, and last card is All Defenders. All Defenders gets a turn. Let's see. We need to get Dink out of the capital. She's not doing much good in there. And we know that another caravan's going to show up over here somewhere. There's not much for Grendel to do, so I think we're going to just send Dink out. And she's going to put her dual wielder to good use. She's going to come 1. Although it does say on your turn. Oh well, I'm going to pretend I can use that. I'm not sure. If anyone from Gamelyn Games is watching, let me know down in the comments below if I'm playing dual wielder correctly. Because I am now going to spend a second action to secure this region. Then I'm going to spend an XP to reduce the threat in your current outer region once per turn. And that means I've still got an action left. Am I going to run into the ruins? There's no rule about entering a location with the Manticore. I think she's going to head out this way because these things need some defending. So she's going to come here for her third action. Right. End of round. Add a card from the Horde deck. Give it a quick shuffle. And then add a caravan. I remembered this time. Haha! In the watery symbol. Haha! Cool. Right by the coast. Yay! That actually works out because he has 2 XP, so he can go 1, 2 to escort that caravan. Unless the Manticore chases him away first. This could be a problem. And the Manticore chases him away first. Okay, because this gets attacked, boom. The Manticore comes flap, 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 flap. I don't think anything bad happens to that caravan. No, it does not. But Grendel is going to take the hit this time. He's going to say, "You thought I was scared of you? Well, not this time. I've got people to protect." And the plains are attacked by more wolvesies. So maybe Dink should have stayed there. Ooh, that's a new card. Okay, that's our first enemies showing up in the desert. And in the mountains. Okay, finally, Dink can do something. She can live up to the name of the game and defend. Boing! Cool. Then the ruins get thwacked a second time. Oh my. That's a problem. That's very, very, very bad, because if they get hit again, we might just lose. Well, no, we won't lose. But it'll start thwacking the capital, which is not good. Then the coast is attacked, and Grendel cannot defend against the coast because he's a little bit distracted by the giant lion, bat, tiger, scorpion, dragon thing. Otherwise known as a Manticore. And all defenders. Finally, we get a turn. At long last. Okay, Grendel, I think you're going to escort those people away from that terrible area. Although, let's see. Yep, we're going to escort the people away. So he's going to spend 1 XP to move out of the coast with the people. Come with me, people. Let's ignore the big flappy giant thing. And then we'll spend another XP to move again into the capital. Boom. And a boom. So he has successfully escorted people to the capital. And he gets 2 experience points. Yay! The people sing praises and cheers for the giant polar bear smithy. Then he could camp out there so that he'll heal up at the start of his next turn. That seems like a reasonable thing to do. Yes, that's what he's going to do. So Dink is going to... 1, 2, we have one action left. Dink is going to move over here so she can protect the forest. And we know that the rest of the caravans are going to show up on this side of the world, because these 3 have already been rescued. That is 3 actions, and it's Dink's turn. Okay. She could level up, but I think securing places is more important. So she is going to spend 1 XP to use her dual wielder to secure the forest a little bit. Then she's going to spend 2 action points to secure 1 of any outer region. Boop. Then I think she's going to sacrifice. She's going to take 1 wound so that she can spend another 2 action points, because she had used 2 of her 3. So now she had 1 left over. She can gain 1 additional one to do this special ability a second time and secure the ruins again, because the ruins keep getting hit and nobody is close to them to defend. Whereas she can defend the forest down here. Right. I didn't move the Manticore earlier, did I? Did I? Let's see. It attacked the ruins. Then it moved into the coast. Yes, it should have moved out of the coast. Right. The Manticore should be there. I forgot to move it when the coast was attacked earlier. Okay. Then we will flip over a card, and we have the wolves in the plains and the spiders in the forest, and Dink is getting perilously low on health, but she is going to defend. 'Tis the name of the game after all. And then it's Grendel's turn. So he starts his turn in the capital. Bing! Replenishes to full health. And I think we're going to send him off in this direction. Whoops. 1 into the plains. Then we're going to use the special ability here. He's going to spend 2 action points to discard the top card of the deck. We know that this is either an enemy or a defender card. And it's a defender card. Okay, so if it's a defender card, reduce 1 in the capital city. That didn't pay off. Oh well, it was worth trying. If it had been an enemy card, we would have reduced 1 in each region shown on the enemy card. But as it is, it did not. There, we will flip over this, and we have... That's the one I would have liked to have discarded, but oh well. The mountains are attacked, boing. And the plains are attacked, but Grendel is there, and he will defend them. Righty-ho. Let's see, how many of these do we have left? We've got 2 more. So 1 of those is the first dire enemy. Can't quite believe we haven't encountered it yet. So I shall speed play my way through the rest of the turns until we get to that first general. Let's see. Plains again. Grendel will defend again. Yes, please. Forests. Ooh. I think she's going to let it be hit, because if she goes down to 0 health, she can't defend or secure or do anything useful. So she's going to let that get hit, because then on her turn she can pull it down. Red's turn. I was hoping it was going to be her turn sooner. 3 actions for Grendel. Grendel. I think I don't like gambling with that thing again. That did not pay off, so he's just going to secure 1, 2. And then let's move him into the mountains 3. And then he can be here to defend and or secure. Okay. All defenders. Good. Okay, we're going to go 1, 2, 3. Just do a whole bunch of securing. Shoring up the defenses. Ooh, look, even more. Yay. Well, in that case, we'll go 1, 2. Actually, I think we need to get Dink back into the capital. 1, 2, well, that's 2, 3. And she gets back to the capital. She gains 1 XP because of her research ability. And then she will heal up when her turn is triggered. Which is immediately now. Yay! Ooh, that means that I can maybe use the plains more effectively. We shall see. Okay, so Dink's turn. She starts in the capital. Bring. Back up to full. Okay, then. The Manticore says you cannot defend. A region with the Manticore cannot be defended, but it can be secured. Yes, it can. So she's going to come 1, 2, 3, and then she's going to spend an XP, boop, using her dual wielder skill card to pull that down to 0. Cool, cool, cool. I suppose she could have gone to the plains, but oh well. Okay, ruins and coast. So the ruins are hit, there's no one there to defend them. Coast is hit, and Dink will say, "Not today, you big flappy bird things." And, okay. The desert is hit, bink, and the Manticore goes flap, 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 goes and stalks around in the forest for a bit. Then the mountains are attacked, and Grendel will defend them, because why not? Why not, indeed? That's why not. Okay, so if he defends again, he can't do much of anything, so he'll let them be hit, so that on his turn he can secure. And the ruins are hit again. This is bad. I think the ruins might get destroyed. I think we just lost the ruins. Okay, that's the end of that. Kaplow, the ruins are in flames. The ruins are even more ruined than they already were. So, whenever a region is destroyed, we move up the threat in the capital, and we take that enemy card. We do not resolve the second half of it, and we place it face down, covering up the text like so, to indicate that region is now destroyed. So any future enemies that would attack the ruins now attack the capital. And that is where we can use Grendel's special ability to go remove a destroyed card. That could prove very useful very soon. And we have the mountains. Mountains. Ooh, do we let the mountains get hit, or does Grendel take a knock? I think he's going to let it take a knock, bink, because he can rather use actions to secure it if he's not at 0 health. Right. So I just realized that I forgot to place a caravan again. Oh dearie. Okay, so we should have put this caravan at the start of this round instead of the end of this round. So I'm just going to place 2 caravans now. That goes into the plains. And this one goes into the mountains. Right, that should have been there this entire round. And I probably would have escorted it back in if I had known it was there. Oh well. Now we add in the last card, which we now know is a dire enemy, because there was 1 dire enemy in that horde deck. So that is definitely the dire enemy that has been shuffled in. The only trouble is we don't know where it shows up. This is a problem. Okay, so we have 1 round to deal with whatever enemies are left here, and then the general is going to pop up, and we cannot defeat the general until we have escorted all of the caravans into the capital. So, let's see if we can survive. We have the ruins, which means there's no one there to defend them, so that hits the capital. Oh dear. As a reminder, if ever the capital is destroyed, game over, we lose instantly. So, that might be happening. Green's turn, yay, okay, finally. Finally. Okay, Dink, you are going to go escort a caravan, I think. Yep, there's not much else to do. We need to do some securing down here, but Okay, so Dink is going to go 1, 2, 3, escort the caravan, boom, spend 1 XP to move it into there, and then gain 3 XP, 1, 2, 3. And then she has 1 more action, because you gain 4 actions if there are any destroyed regions. So we know that this last caravan is going to show up in the ruins. Surprisingly, you would think that there's nothing left there, but apparently one final little outpost of humans has managed to cobble together a little convoy, and they're creeping their way through. What's she going to do with her last action? I think she's just going to head out this way, so that she is close to here to do stuff. Maybe she can do the plains action or something in the future. And there is our first dire enemy, and guess what? It's in the ruins. Ah! Oh golly, phantoms are in the ruins. Blast. I wish I were there to defend that. Okay. Now remember how dire enemies work. If you are not in the region to defend it, and defending it costs 2 health, not 1, then the text part triggers. If you are able to defend it, you gain an artifact. As it is, nobody's there to defend it, so nobody gains anything. And the phantoms will torment. Increase 2 in the ruins at the end of the round. Leave this card out as a reminder until the end of the round. Oh my goodness me. That is terrible. Utterly, utterly terrible. Oh my. Because that means it's going to increase twice in the capital because the ruins are destroyed. Oh dear. Okay. Defenders, defenders. Grendel has rebuild. When your defender card is drawn, if you are in a destroyed region, you may remove the card covering the region and add it to the discard pile. Then set the threat to the space directly below, the destruction space. That is not his defender card, but he can move towards there in preparation for his defender card to come up, which means we can maybe mitigate that being quite so bad. Okay, so he has some XP. He's going to move 1, spend in an XP to take the caravan with him. Should we secure before we leave? We should secure before we leave. That's 2. Then he's going to go 3, so that he is in the ruins and he can do his special thing when his turn comes up. And while there, he can also secure it once he's undestroyed it. He can rebuild a little bit. He is a giant bear smith after all. He can bang things back together again. And then for our 4th action, Dink will spend an XP and escort this caravan back home. Bink! And immediately gain 3 XP. Bonk, bonk, bonk. And now she is at 8, so she could level up. I probably should have sent Grendel into the capital because he needs to heal. But I will. He can always go heal at the coast. So I think I'm just going to use this now, because why not? I'm going to spend all of her XP down to 0 to gain 1 skill card. Do we just gain 1? Gain 1 new skill card and heal to full health. So she gets back to full and she gets a new skill card, which is Soothsayer. She can spend 3 XP during your turn, reveal the top 3 cards of the turn deck and return them to the top of the deck in any order. Ha! So she can scry and peek ahead a little bit and see what's coming. That is very handy. Although now she has no XP to use it on. Oh well. Now, as soon as you get up to 8 XP, it is optional to level up. You do not have to. You can keep it there and then use it for other things. However, if you are at 8 XP and you do anything that would give you XP, you don't gain it. Flippity flop, another card. The plains are attacked. Kaplow. The forest is attacked. Kaplow. And the griffin has done... Griffin, what am I saying? The manticore has done a full circle of the board and landed back in his homely mountains. For now. All defenders. Okie dokie. I would really like Grendel to use his special thing to do that. But what he's going to do is he's going to use those to go 1, 2, 3 to rejuvenate. If the coast is at 0, restore to full health. Yay! There you go, Grendel. Bing! Up to full health for you, sir. And then 4, he's going to go back to the ruins. And then it's his turn. Finally! Finally. Okay, then rebuild. When your defender card is drawn, if you are in the destroyed region. Aha, so I have to be in the region when my card is drawn. I automatically discard the card in my region, so that region is no longer destroyed. Yay. I'll just discard it like so we remember it's my turn. So now I only have 3 actions, not 4. We pop this over there, and then I will use all 3 of those actions, 1, 2, 3, to get that back down to 0. Because the phantoms are going to increase it by 2, and we know there's loads of enemies in here that are hitting the ruins. So that was Grendel's turn. The mountains are attacked. Kaplow, kaplow. The plains are attacked. Kaplow, kaplow. Okay, is Grendel going to take a hit? Or is he going to run away? I think he's going to take a hit. Blink. Although there's no real point in staying there. No, he's going to run away. Run away! Bing! Because he couldn't defend against that anyway, so the mountains are hit again. Oh my goodness, we might lose the mountains. We're going to lose the mountains soon. The ruins are attacked. Flap, 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 flap. And that goes up 1. He will need to run away again, I think. Yep, run away! And then the desert is attacked. Right, finally, Grendel can do something useful. He will defend the desert. But he can't defend the mountains, and the mountains are then destroyed. Kaboom! Ah! I wonder if that takes the Manticore special effect out. Because usually when you cover up a region, it negates the special action you can do there. Nah, I'm just going to say no, because I reckon thematically this Manticore is still flapping around. Okay, so now at the end of the round we increase, bing, bing, the ruins by 2 because of the phantoms. The phantoms! Ah, the phantoms! And then we are starting a new round. We add a caravan to the ruins. Whoa. Wow, okay, those people are really petrified. Rightly so. They should be terrified. There's all kinds of nonsense happening there. And now we reveal the General. We have the Rock General. It shows up in the desert. All undefended attacks on the Rock's region and the outer region directly opposite increases an additional threat. Oh my, that's terrifying. Okay, so Rock is a big old giant eagle thing, and this is not of the giant eagle kind in Lord of the Rings that are benevolent, friendly creatures when they feel like it. This is an all-out pure evil eagle. Okay, so this is our first General, and it starts on 7 health. So now we apply normal Tiny Epic Defenders rules of fighting to fight the epic foe. You just spend action points to whittle down its health. Grendel, fortunately, is in the location, so he can spend 3 XP, which he doesn't have, to attack without spending an action point. So he can attack more times on a turn, basically, if he can get his XP up. And yeah, we can't defeat the Rock. We can start attacking it, but we can't defeat it until we've got this caravan back to the capital. So what we should probably do is send Grendel to get the caravan to the capital. That would make sense, because then he's getting XP and he can use it for his strength. Righty-ho. Now we will play until we have defeated the Rock. So let's see if I can at least get one more caravan home. Not as such. Oh my. The mountains are attacked, which goes straight through to the capital. The ruins are attacked again. Ah! Which destroys them again. And that goes through to the capital. Our capital is really starting to crumble. All these caravans here thought they were going to a safe haven, and it is proving to fail them. Oh dear. This is indeed a dark war. Dum dum dum. Oh my, the mountains again. Kersplat. And even though Dink is there, you cannot defend the capital the same way you can outer regions. And the plains are attacked, which means they're probably going to go up in flames pretty soon. All defenders. Okay, finally, we can do something. Yay! Grendel is going to go and escort that caravan. 1, 2, 3. He's got to spend an XP to do so. Oh, spend an XP, not gain an XP. Spend an XP to do so. So 4, he can't escort it back in because he doesn't have the XP. And you can't gain XP through the prepare action unless your defender card is face up. So he'll just use 4. Actually, maybe he should move into the capital. No, he's just going to use 4 to secure the plains. And the phantoms show up in the ruins again. I presume they would have attacked and then they attack again. So that probably goes up 1. I think I might have done that wrong earlier. Which means I probably lost already, but I'm going to keep on playing anyway. Okay, the ruins are attacked again. Nobody's there to defend it. That goes over there. Oh no! Ah! And that's the end of the game. The capital has crumbled. Crumble, 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 crumble. All the people are not safe. They all scatter. Ah, run away, run away, run away, run away. And they go try find somewhere a little bit safer to live. Because this land of Aughmoore is not safe anymore. It has been overrun by enemies. Dun, dun, dun. Oh well, there you have it. That could have gone better. I probably didn't play very strategically, but oh well. I think that hopefully gave you a pretty good idea of how all the new elements play out. Basically, you have added a whole bunch more dire enemies, a whole bunch of new artifacts, which I didn't even once get to show you because I didn't once get to defend against a dire enemy. So we have new artifacts like this magical backpack, allows you to hold 2 additional hand items, but you can only have 2 equipped at any time, so you can carry 4 hand items instead of just 2, but you can only ever have 2 of them equipped. You can find a tinkered automaton. Each time threat increases in your current region, gain 1 health. Not quite sure how that works, but okay. So there's a whole bunch of new exciting artifacts that do interesting and exciting things. These additional components here, we have this tree, these little tokens here, these dice, these stormy things, and these boats. Those are for the additional regions. So let me just show you those quickly. What would have happened if we'd been able to defeat the rock, then we would have discarded that card. We would have flipped the mountains to their friendly side, and we then would have had a friendly tamed manticore to help us out, which is actually really cool. It's got a little clip-in spot there that is exactly the shape of a little meeple. So once your manticore is tamed, you can slot your meeple into it, and I'm busy dismantling the whole thing while I try to do so. And then you can ride the manticore around and do special stuff, which I will leave you to discover on your own. So we would have flipped that over, and then we would have replaced one of these other locations, so let's say the coast, with the hostile coast. So you would just shuffle these and add one at random. And then the coast gets these 3 dice. And when the coast increases threat, roll a fleet die and place it in the corresponding region. So you would roll one of these. It's the mountains. So you'd take one of these little boats and you'd pop the die in the little boat in that region, indicating that that region is now being attacked by invaders. And to secure the coast, a defender must spend the required actions while in any region with a fleet die. Afterward, return the fleet die to the spot on this card. So if this has been hit, we have to secure here. To secure this, we remove that die and put it back there, and then that goes down. So you don't actually secure the coast by being at the coast with that one. And that's basically how it works. The forest introduces the tree. We have the haunted woods and the lookout, depending on which side of the card you are playing. So that brings the little tree into play. The desert brings in a storm. So on the friendly side, it is a mystic storm. And on the desert's hostile side, it is a deadly storm. And that brings these little storm tokens into play, and they basically make it harder to move between locations in the desert. So if this were here, like there, on its hostile side, then as the game goes, you're going to pop these storm tokens out, and now it costs an extra action, or is it extra XP? It's an XP. You have to spend an action and an XP to move from the coast to the desert, if the storm tokens are there. We then have the plains, where we have on its friendly side mercenaries or barbarians, and that's where this additional deck of cards comes into play. So if you're playing with this location in play, you will, when it is set up, add these enemy cards into the turn deck. And then depending on which side of the card is face up, you'll have to deal with barbarians, or the mercenaries will come to your aid. What else do we have? We've got the hostile ruins, which introduce plague. So you pick up these little tokens. And when a defender enters the ruins, they must take one death token and place it on the highest hit point. Oh, that's right. So you put these on your character like that. So now you have 3 max hit points. If you enter there again, you get another one, and now you have 2 max hit points. And on a future turn, the defender may spend an action and an XP to remove their lowest death token. So there are ways to mitigate that and get rid of those, but they do hinder you a little bit. They make you a little less effective. And then on the friendly side, Death's Gift. Take 1 death token and place it on your player card. On a future turn, you may discard the death token, return it to the ruins as a free action, and restore 2 health to yourself or another defender in your region. Haha! So all of those have got good and bad sides to them. You will play out until you have either been completely obliterated, like I was today, or you defeat the first epic foe, at which point you will reset the board. You will reset the turn deck and the horde deck. The second time around, you'll add 2 dire enemies to the horde deck on top of the second general. Once you have defeated the second general, you'll add another dire enemy. So now you have 3 in the horde deck. And then you will have to face off against the epic foe. And I think each time you defeat a general, if you have enough XP, you can level up. I think you level up at the end. I can't remember exactly. That's a question for the rulebook. And with that, I think you have seen everything there is to see for the Tiny Epic Defenders Dark War expansion. I shall say thank you ever so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the show. And remember to spread the joy of tabletop gaming. And that just fell on the floor.